again, friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy, and I'm glad you decided to join me for this Tattoo Tuesday video. Yay! I hope everybody is having a wonderful Tuesday. I hope you all had a wonderful Memorial Day, and I hope you took time to reflect on why we celebrate Memorial Day. I forgot to make a video or a post about it, but thank you to all the veterans out there and all the serving military in all branches. Thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice. It means so much to me. I had such a wonderful Memorial Day. If you do not know, the 22nd of May is my husband and I's anniversary. We celebrated 5 years, and we just spent a really fun time in town. We stayed at a hotel for 2 nights, and it was just so enjoyable to just relax and reflect on our marriage and the memories and, you know, all that good stuff. We took advantage of the pool that they had in our hotel room. No, they didn't. That'd be great, right? We took advantage of the pool that was in our hotel. We also had a good time listening to a local musician who sang at the bar on the open air bar on top of the roof of our hotel. It was so cool. Great music, great vibes. All in all, we just really had a great time. So that was really exciting. Also, just as a side note, why I'm in black lipstick and black tank top with gold. It is the playoff game of the two hockey teams are playing, and that is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Colorado Avalanche. And if the Vegas Golden Knights win today, they advance to the Stanley Cup finals, I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe so. So that is why I'm all set to cheer on the Golden Knights. Go Knights, go! Just FYI, my outfit. But you guys aren't here for any of that. Today we are for Tattoo Tuesday. I thought it would be a fun discussion as a tattoo enthusiast to talk about and discuss big tattoos versus small tattoos. What are the pros? What are the cons? And discuss it with you guys. So let's just jump right in, and I will be back in 1 second. I have to check on something. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I just had to check on something. So let's talk about the pros first of getting a small tattoo rather than the cons of getting a small tattoo, and then we will do the pros and cons of a big tattoo and the pros and cons of a big tattoo. So the first thing or that is good about small tattoos is easy to hide. And when I say this easy to hide, it doesn't mean that you're ashamed of them, you're embarrassed of them, you don't want people to know. It could just mean that you just don't like big tattoos. Also, it is with small tattoos, it just is easier to, if you're in a situation where you don't want people to know you have a tattoo, you can easily either use clothing to cover it up, nobody knows, or you can use makeup and it'll be easy to cover up tattoos. Also, another benefit to having small tattoos is that it does not take that long to get a small tattoo done. Very small amount of time. Again, it depends on the subject of the small tattoo, and if it is in color or black and gray. Those are also factors. Jane's very chatty today. I don't know if you can hear her. Jane. Yeah, okay, now she stopped talking. Okay. Um, so those are some things to keep in mind. But it's not all sunshines and rainbows with small tattoos. If you have, especially with fine line tattoos, and but I mean that they use a very thin, it looks like a thin line, not a thick line. I don't have any thin line tattoos, but you know, there's Google, so you can Google them if you're interested. Um, it is a more sort of also a fine line tattoo is like very like soft and like delicate and usually there's a lot not usually but um flowers and foliage and plants and vines are generally done in fine line tattoos. Not all of them, of course not. You can do it anything, but there is quite a handful and stuff out. It's very common for generally females, but not all the time. Again, to get fine line flowers and vines and all that in fine lines. Also fine lines. It can be like script. Mine is not a fine line tattoo because it's bold script. Um, but I also generally in some cases, some people want fine line tattoos for words, you know, like what's a super common one, like family or love or you know something along those lines. Not always, but just an example. Um, Fine line tattoos also has a con to getting blown out. And what I mean by that is no, not having an upset stomach, is that when the lines, when they're tattooing, sometimes the ink can split. I don't, how can I describe this? It looks like it's fatter or there's not a splosh, but it looks like it's more inks on the side rather than a straight, it follows a natural line. Um, Blowouts happen. That's just a common thing in tattoos, whether it's fine line or any style. It is a common occurrence. It has, you hope it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. If you go to a good tattoo artist, it never happens. Not saying that it won't ever happen, but it could happen. It's something that it's kind of like a risk you take. But again, if you do your research and you know ask the right questions, look for a good artist, you know, yada yada yada, the chances you can reduce your chance of getting a blowout. You see Jane right there in the background? Hi, Jane. Hi, Jane. Um, so that is a con of getting a small fine line tattoo, or not even fine line, just a small tattoo, because the space and the area is more in a tighter knit area, and it could lean towards more that. Again, it's not in every case. Um, you know, it goes case by case, depending on your situation and whatnot. But it can happen. I'm very lucky that I have never had a blown out. Not saying that I won't ever have a blown out tattoo, but again, if you do your research and find a good artist, your chances are greatly reduced. Um, and it does happen to the best of tattooers, so that's just kind of part of the risk of getting a tattoo. Um, so I believe that is all about the pros and the cons of getting a small tattoo. Again, small tattoos are great because you can easily hide them generally with clothing. It is not a very time consuming um, activity with small tattoos. I generally don't. I mean, I have a few small tattoos, and by I mean small, I mean like my hummingbird is small. on my neck. But generally, I have pretty much I would say I have medium to, I don't know, like large tattoos, I guess. Like I don't really consider the gypsy a big tattoo, but to somebody else it might be a big tattoo. This one I guess is considered a big tattoo. Um, but like my diamond is like not a big tattoo. That would be like a small tattoo. Um, but again, if you're interested in getting a small tattoo, definitely talk to your artist, get a good game plan, they'll let you know how all it's gonna go out, or how it's gonna go. And you'll have a better idea of it. Will it hurt? Yes. Probably way less than bigger tattoos, but it's not gonna just be, oh, easy breezy. You're putting needles into your skin and piercing it. So I mean, um, another thing. So now we're gonna talk about big tattoos. Some pros and cons. Big tattoos. Oh, also, I forgot to know, with a pro to the getting a small tattoo is it will probably cost less than a big tattoo just because of the amount of time and supplies and all that. So on a financial standpoint, getting a small tattoo is a good investment if you don't want to put in to spend a lot of money. And I know that sounds awful, but that's just the reality of it. And that's okay. And so there's nothing wrong with a small tattoo that does not cost, like an arm and a leg. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay, I've just thought of that. Okay, moving on to big tattoos. Some pros to getting big tattoos is, everybody will know they're there. You can, if you want to be tattooed fast, you get big tattoos. You can cover up a lot with like an image. Again, depending on where you want said image. Like I have my gypsy on my arm, and then I have my jaguar, and then I have a diamond, my swallow, sacred heart, and on the outside it's pretty much filled in. And then on the inside I have my love letter, and then I have my Shakespeare quote, and it goes all the way down to the wrist. And so it's pretty much filled in, but can you tell there's a gap right here? Yeah, that's gotta get filled in. Not under my armpit, but kind of that space between the swallow and where the script is. Yes, there's makeup on my arm. That's where I am going to probably sometime in the fall, I'm thinking, or around my birthday, get a dagger tattoo, just to have that filled up so it looks complete. Again, I don't need to be 100% inked, so you can't see my skin. I'm just going to get the dagger right there, and then my left arm will be done getting so I won't be getting any more tattoos. So that is one good benefit of big tattoos. Depending on how big your arm is and what sort of aesthetic you're going for, you can get it filled rather quickly, depending on the pieces that you choose to get tattoos on. Like my arm is considered like patchwork because there's just there's a gypsy, jaguar, random tattoos. So mine is considered patchwork. On this one, this is just my floral one. It's not considered patchwork. I'm not going to get any tattoos here because I don't know how my body is going to react, because when I got this tattoo, my legs started kind of like twitching and stuff, and also I don't know how I would keep my arm still to get while the tattoo was actually getting the ink in there. But that is so not the point. Sorry guys, I get sidetracked. But big tattoos, like I mentioned before, are going to cost you more. That's just a fact of life, right? You know, getting it's like buying a bicycle at Walmart compared to buying a new used car. They both will get you where you want to go. One is you know fairly inexpensive, while the other one is a huge investment. Same thing with tattoos. um, that is why I have a fund where I just put all my extra change, spare bills, and I just save and save and save. So that way, when I want to buy, when I'm ready to invest in a big piece, I will have the funds. I don't need to worry about bills. I have that fund all ready to go. And that way, also, I am content and satisfied with the decision of whatever tattoo piece I decide to get. Um, Again, also a factor is getting it in color versus black and gray. And what I mean by black and gray is that they just use black ink and diluted black ink. So they put sometimes, and again, I'm not a tattoo artist in any way or regard, so some of the things might not be 100%, but they dilute the black ink to make it like a gray variant and stuff like that, so you get like gray shading. Whereas color tattoos use obviously different colors, shades, all that good stuff. So again, that's also more to the tattoo. Now, it also depends on your artist, how they price things. Some are cheaper than others, some are not. It's never a good idea to finagle and like barter for to see if you can get a cheaper price. But there is nothing wrong at all with price comparing and getting a feel for the artists. You can go to a shop and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting, whatever. Let's just say a book tattoo, somewhere on your arm in black and gray. What would you got to figure what size you want to. How much would this be? They will, talk to you and whatever. And then you can be like, okay, I'm not ready yet, but thanks for letting me know. I'll be in touch, something like along those lines. And then you can go to somebody else and see, hey, what it is like. If you wanted to see what it would be like in color, again, you can always ask the same artist in color or not. But anyway, you can go to somebody else and be like, I want this. How much would it be? And it's not just price comparing who has the best deal. It's also how the artist is. Was he open and courteous? Did he answer, or he or she, doesn't matter. Did they answer your questions? Do you feel you had a good rapport with them? And sometimes if you're new to tattooing and stuff, it can be hard. You just gotta, and that's why it's always good to ask different people, and kind of get a feel. Also look on their Instagram and all that stuff, because then I think you'll have a better understanding of it. So those are just things to keep in mind as well. Also, with big tattoos, something to keep in mind is not only the location of the tattoo, but also the healing process. A small tattoo is going to take way less time to heal than a big tattoo. Big tattoos, depending on the size, can take 2 to 3, 5 weeks probably to like heal completely. And that's normal. There's again, like a back piece, you don't get it done in one day. It's just impossible. Which, I mean, people can go under anesthesia, but I never ever recommend it. I feel like it is a horrible decision. But anyway, like you get the outline done, that's one session. You let that heal. You come back, you get it filled in with color or black and gray and whatever, that's another session. And you keep going back till it's done. Um, all mine took one session to do. When I get my back done, again, it's not going to take one session. It's going to take more, which I'm fully aware of, and I'm not anywhere near getting my back tattooed. I will eventually. I already know the subject matter of my back tattoo. It's going to be awesome. I already know the size that I want, meaning that I don't want it going also to my butt. It's going to stop a little shy of my, like, the start of my butt. And it's not going to go all the way up to my, like, hairline. So again, also, like, if you're a back piece, the more you get done for coverage, the more it's going to cost. That's a normal thing. But yeah, those are all the things that I have thought about for a comparison to a big tattoo versus small tattoo. You may be wondering, what do I prefer? It depends on what tattoo we're talking about. Whether I like small, I truly like both. I feel like my, I don't know if you guys can see it. My hummingbird tattoo I got in Las Vegas. It's right here. I hope you guys can see it. That did not take probably maybe 20 minutes, maybe a little more, give or take. Didn't take long. Again, I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but I felt it. It stung. No, none of my tattoos were painless, okay? Also, please keep that in mind. None of them were painless. I also consider my paw prints a small tattoo. Again, it didn't hurt. It was in color. I feel like that's one of my two smallest tattoos I have. Probably my diamond on my arm is another I would consider small tattoo. Also, things to consider when you're getting tattoos, if you are planning to travel to, like, Europe to see, or in Italy and those types of countries, either you have to make sure that if you go into a church, your arms are covered completely, like with a sweater or something, or no tank tops are allowed in churches. You have to be covered. I take it back. They are allowed, but while you're in the church, you have to have your arms covered, either with a shawl or a sweater, or like a little, those short ones that I can never think of. But anyway, so, and if you don't want, I think you always have to wear them. But again, if you do, a lot of European countries, I wouldn't say frown on tattoos, but it's certainly not the status quo there. So sometimes if you don't want to wear that, if you have like a shirt, if you're going into a church and your shirt covers up most of your shoulder, but it may, like, let's say you have a tattoo on your forearm like this, you might want to consider bringing makeup just to cover it up. Once you leave the church, you can wash it off or that, but it is something to consider. They won't allow you to have small tank tops with, I want to say that I don't think they care necessarily about the tattoos, but you do have to be covered up. And it's just, again, that's, the tattoos are not the status quo. They are kind of frowned upon. They're not, people will get them everywhere in the country. It's not like, it's just, oh, those darn Americans, they're ruining everything. But you do have to be aware of places you travel, because you are going to see something. You're not coming to them. So consider that, again, if you're going to foreign countries, and especially like European churches, I would like do some research into their like stands on tattoos, so that way to either just bring a sweater or a covering to cover up as best as you can, and or bring makeup, and that way you are, just cover it up. Kind of sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just makeup. You can wash it off. That's my stance on it. So again, that's just something to keep in mind, because a lot of the places sometimes, you go travel, you don't think about, I'm tattooed. So, but when you travel, different, countries have very, very different views on tattoos. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. And one of the benefits, if you have a small tattoo, you can just cover it up. No one knows, unlike big tattoos. So I would probably, if I was going to a foreign country, and like France or Italy, in a church situation, this is like for churches, historical, probably, places that are like outside stuff, you know what I'm saying? I would probably just bring makeup and cover up my hand tattoo, I would have my husband just cover up my tattoos. It saves probably a world of trouble. It's not a bad thing, but it is, again, just something to consider. Again, if you're not planning to go to churches or those type of sites, don't worry about it. But that is something also to consider. So yeah, and again, depending on how big you want the pieces, you have to also make sure too that the things you pick, if they're a big tattoo that you really, 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 really like 100%, 1000% love the subject matter of that. I love my flower tattoo. Love it, love it, love it. I think they're so beautiful to look at. They're not offensive. Also, offensive tattoos are, oh my gosh, we could do a whole thing on offensive tattoos. That other people that I've watched on YouTube that just have offensive tattoos, and just why, people. But anyway, so my tattoos, again, are not offensive or anything like that. I wanted mine to be something that lasted, that people would recognize from like across the room or like up close. So my flower tattoos are beautiful. I think they fit the arm nicely. Same thing with my gypsy, my jaguar. I do love all my tattoos. I don't regret any of them. Tattoos are also a very big decision. Like, they are on you for life. True, you can get them covered up with a new tattoo. You can laser them. But those cost a lot of money, and the result might not be what you think it's going to be. I've seen relatively good laser removals, and I've seen horrendous tattoo removals, and also tattoo removals are very, very, very expensive. They're almost more expensive than to get a new tattoo or to cover it up. So keep those in mind. As always, I love my tattoos. I love sharing stories and seeing other people's tattoos and their stories. They just bring me happiness. And I know that sounds silly, but I love getting tattooed. It's something that I will probably do for the rest of my life. I like the style that I have. I will never get sick of them. They are a part of me. Sometimes I see them in the mirror when I do my makeup really well and my outfit is just on fire and everything is just going uh peachy and or all roses, and I look in the mirror, I'm like, dang girl, you look cool as heck. Those are the times that I am so happy to have my tattoos. um yeah, they are just a part of me and I love them. And I always want to say that for anybody out there that just likes hearing these stories that doesn't have a tattoo, I never have like issues or like think any differently about anybody that doesn't have tattoos. You know, I can talk to, like, for example, if I met somebody that liked the same book as I do and they are completely naked, meaning no tattoos, and I will just talk to them. Why? I mean, the tattoos shouldn't define anybody, right? They should let the person's actions and the way they present themselves and speak to speak for them. Um, there are um I'm just a person that has ink has, pictures on my body. That's it. Like, um and some people just don't understand that and they think for whatever reason it's just not their flavor, and sometimes unfortunately they take it out on you or they give you looks and you're just like, why? Like, I'm not hurting anybody. My tattoos aren't hurting anybody. They aren't, you know I understand their tattoos are not for everybody, but I'm not hurting. You don't need to give me a dirty look or it for having tattoos, because also you don't know if that tattoo is a memorial tattoo for somebody. um you know so you always have to keep that in mind. But my friends don't have any tattoos. Well, one of them does, but um my girlfriends, and I'm just one of the girls. I'm not, like I said, the only difference is I have pictures on my arms. That's it. um So that is all the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Down in the comments down below, let me know, do you prefer big tattoos or small tattoos? Or do you have a combination of both? Or do you have medium-sized tattoos? Love to know. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what your favorite tattoo is on yourself. Or let me know what your favorite tattoo that I have is. Is it the gypsy, the jaguar, the diamond, the swallow, the sacred heart, my love letter, Shakespeare, my tiger lilies and snapdragons, or my Chinese cherry blossoms? I'd really like to know. Or my kitties and paw prints, or my hummingbird. I'd love to know. Please drop your comments and thoughts all down in the comments. Yeah, I just love talking about tattoos. I hope everybody has a wonderful last week of May. I've got a very fun video for you for the start of June, so be looking forward to that. I also will be doing again another Tattoo Tuesday in June video. I will be doing my book video, my collection video. So lots of good stuff in the future. Until then, I will remember to hit that like button, subscribe, share with friends and family. I am trying to get to 200 subscribers, because once I do, there's going to be a big, big, big giveaway. Yay! So share with friends and family, and I will see you guys in my next episode. And as always, for tattoos, I'm just a tattoo enthusiast. I am no way have super extreme knowledge. This is just fun stuff that I like to share with you, excuse me, as a tattooed person. And I wouldn't consider, also, just in case anybody's wondering, I don't consider myself a heavily tattooed person. Anyway, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye for now, and go Knights go! Bye-bye for now, everyone.